Hello everyone, welcome to Monster Day of 13 Days, 13 Shorts. As might be able to see, I am wearing a monster shirt of a giant three-headed duck fighting a giant mechanical beaver. There's his chainsaw tail. Roar. This is like one of my favorite shirts and it's appropriate for today. So I'm wearing it today. Especially what I'm going to be doing today. What is this shirt is about fighting kaiju. Kaiju are giant monsters. Or it's like Godzilla. And I have a game about fighting kaiju. Actually, I have like 3 games about it, but I'm going to be teaching you this one because it's fun. The game is called Rampage, and it's based on the arcade game of the same name. You play as giant monsters, and you go out and you destroy the city, and you eat everyone. It's a fun game of throwing your monsters around, breathing fire, and eating lots of meeples. Time to go on a rampage. This game has a slightly longer setup time than some other games, but when you actually get down to it, it's not that long of a setup. There are a number of ruined spaces, and each one has a little meeple symbol in the corner. That just means you put your meeples on those corners. And then you can put a floorboard on top of that. Those boards also have indicators of where to put your meeples. And you just follow that. Once you put a floorboard on, you gotta then stack it up to a few levels. Each one is going to end up being about 3 stories tall. There is no order in which to put the meeples. You actually want to do it as randomly as possible. And when you get to the final level, you want to put a single meeple on top, just to show that there's someone on the roof. And you want to be sure that you do that for each of the building spaces. The buildings should all be about the same height of 3 stories, 3 floors. And you will end up using all of the building tiles. So if you don't want to remember 3 floors, just do them all evenly. Any extra meeple that you have, you'll put in the stadium in the middle. That one there is a spectator. Game also has small cars that you want to put onto the car spaces. In each corner there is a dotted circle, and that is where each of the monsters will begin the game. Each monster is sort of set up like this. There are dotted lines on the board, or in a circle in each corner, and that's a starting position. You put the monster feet in the circle, and the monster body on top. Also, you want to notice that each monster has 6 teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The bottom 4 teeth can be lost, which affects how many meeples you can eat each turn, along with how many points you get at the end of the game. This is also where the game gets really interesting, as it has 3 different decks of cards. There are character cards, power cards, and super secret power cards. And at the beginning of the game, each player is dealt 1 of each of these 3 cards. So this is then describing my monster. I'm a brawler. And a climber. And a hobo. At the back of the rulebook, there is a nice little sheet that explains all the powers, along with the cheat sheet that comes in the box. Because for your first few games, there's no way you're going to have all these memorized. There's also this runaway meeple board, which keeps track of how many meeples have ran away. So if a meeple falls off the board, it is then a runaway, and you add it to the board. And then each time one runs away, you just keep adding it. After one line is filled up, you then do the penalty. Whoever fills up gets the penalty, which is, in this case, lose a tooth and that. And the next monster, the next meeple that goes off, goes into the next row and continues that way. And then when this row is filled, you get this penalty. If all of these get filled in, eventually you get to the end. This is one of the two ways the game can end. And this is the way you basically don't want it to end in most cases, with all the meeples running away. There's also a side B board, which, as you can see, all of them are color coded. So this green guy goes into green. Blue goes up there. And if you ever get to a position where you have 3 run away of the same color, then you get a special bonus, a special penalty for that, which is losing a tooth and losing 4 meeples. And after that happens, you then clear the board of those and continue normally. So blue will still be added that way. The game board, once set up, is going to look something like this. There's the main stadium in the center of the board, and that has all the excess meeples on it. All other meeples are either supporting a building, I think there's 4 on each floor, or there's 1 on each top. Throughout the game, there are also these little cars. There's car spaces on the board that are pretty easy to notice. And you just take those and put them on top. In each corner is a monster starting space. Monsters are always the monster feet with the monster body on top. And of course, each player will have a monster screen in front of them. A monster screen in front of them with the monster teeth on the outside, and everything else will then go on the inside. There are car spaces. Just a little picture of a car on the board. You take the car of that color and you put it on top. You put 4 meeples on each floor of the board as supporting space and 1 on top. All excess meeples go into the stadium in the middle. The board is broken up into a number of smaller neighborhoods. Each one is its own dominant color. There's this park, which is one neighborhood. This is another, and this is another. These are 3 distinct neighborhoods. You can tell because they're just different colors. Or you can just use these lines as borders. And each building is surrounded by a sidewalk, which will be important later. Let's say I'm going to start my monster right here. That's where I start my turn. Just so it's on camera. On your turn, you can do one of 4 actions. The first is move. If you want to move, take your monster's body off, take the feet, and flick them. And then your monster is then placed wherever he moves to. If your monster is ever standing on a sidewalk, like my guy is now, he's on the sidewalk for the stadium, you can then use the demolish action. So basically just turn the stadium and go smash! Which, you hold it above the stadium and drop it. If your monster is ever in the same neighborhood as a vehicle, I am in the same neighborhood as this tank, I would be able to pick it up, put it on my head, and then throw it. By... Oh no, that was not good. If your monster is ever in the same neighborhood as a vehicle, as mine is right now, you may pick that vehicle up and place it on your head. And then you flick it off the head to say that you've thrown it. I'm gonna turn my guy this way and aim down a little bit. And aim down a little bit, and that wasn't the best use of a throw, but you get the point. And another really fun thing to do is to I'm going to move my monster over here for the sake of simplicity for this next one. Face the right way. Monster right there. Maybe your monster is like Godzilla and can breathe fire. For that, what you do is you hold your monster with one hand, put your chin on the other, on its head, and then you actually blow on it. See, I just breathed that. Meeple was trying to summon Batman. Man, so I'm like, nuh-uh, you go to the stadium. Which actually kind of just makes it harder for me to eat him, but... So you get to perform 2 of those actions on your turn. After you've done that, it is then time to eat. Basically, your monster goes to any meeples in its neighborhood that are not supporting a building, and you chow down. Unfortunately for this example, my monster is all the way over here, and all the free meatballs are over there. Like, actually, there's one little blonde one right here that fell off, and I cannot get to it. Now, let's say I am here, and I drop it like this. A couple things happened. This floorboard came off the roof, which means I can then put it in my stomach. My monster, I return to my feet, and right behind him is a little blue meeple, so I can eat that at the end of my turn. This guy, however, fell off the board. If a meeple falls off the board, then it is a runaway and is placed on the runaway board. Now let's say if you somehow was to knock all this over, where I'd be over here, you don't get to eat all of these meeples just because they all fell off. You don't get to eat all of these meeples just because they fell off. My monster only has 6 teeth. So that means I can eat 6 meeples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If my monster ends up losing some teeth, because like when I moved, I felt if I was to fall off the board, that caused me to lose a tooth, along with some monster's special powers or stuff like that. For every tooth that you for every tooth that you end up losing, you are able to eat less meeples. These 2 teeth at the top, you can never fully lose. So you're always able to eat at least 2 meeples on a turn. Arrgh! The game can end in one of two ways. Either all of the meeples run away and you fill up this board. Whoever places the last meeple loses. And then everyone else scores at the points. And whoever has the most points wins. The other way for the game to end is if every floorboard is destroyed. If we eat every building, then the game ends. We don't have to eat every meeple, just every building. And then the back of the book has reminders of how to score the game. So you get 10 points for each set of 6 meeples, because your monster wants to have a nice balanced diet. You don't want to eat too much of just the heroic people. You want to eat a little bit of everyone. You get 1 point for each floor that you eat, because concrete's good, has good iron. 2 points for each tooth taken from another monster. So there are ways of taking teeth from monsters. It's primarily like if you knock someone off their feet, that will take a tooth from them. Or some powers steal teeth as well. And you also get a certain number of points from your monster's character card. For example, in this video, I was the Brawler, which is each tooth taken from another monster is worth 4 points instead of 2. So in that case, if I get lots of teeth, I get more points. However, some people are like the pacifist. At the end of the game, if you have eaten more soldiers, which are the green meeples, than everyone else, then you score 10 bonus points. And then after you do that, whoever has the most points wins. So the game of Rampage is a great dexterity-based game because you get to be the monster and just destroy everything. It's not like King of Tokyo is a really fun game where you play as the monster. However, in that one you're rolling dice to basically attack everyone else. In this game, there's physical building structures and you get to actually destroy them. You don't really get to do that in most other games. I can't think of any that have such a good physical structure like this that you can just destroy. I'm not normally into dexterity-based games because I just have a lot of bad experiences with them, especially I remember what it was called. I want to say Catacombs or something that was just super difficult and I can't do it. But this is just fun. Especially when you get in with the right group of people, because then your monsters have names and you talk about why you're destroying the city and you get a bit of role-playing into the game. I love role-playing games, so I add that in there. And when you get to add all these character cards and the powers, it's just kind of fun using that replayability just to make new characters. And that's me discussing Rampage. I'm wanting to teach a few other games on this channel, and 13 Days, 13 Shorts was the perfect excuse for me to start doing this. So I have other games in mind and other ways of teaching them. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see those. They'll be coming out soon. Ish. See ya.